at 11:37. When you are call 6 to the emergency room, have them page Dr. Silver. He'd like to see the patient.
372, 072.
Code blue, room 305.
Hello and welcome to the Bonsai Garden, and you find me sporting my branded gear from the South Yorkshire Bonsai Society. The club meet in Deepcar Village Hall on the fourth Thursday of every month. They're a friendly bunch, and if you live in or around the Sheffield area or even just a little bit further away, they're worth visiting and checking out, and I'm sure they'll welcome any new visitors, as they did myself. And if you're somebody who has a little bit of an anxiety or worries about joining a bonsai club, then check out my video on the terrors of joining a bonsai club and social anxiety, and hopefully that will allay your fears. I'm also a member of the Yorkshire Bonsai Association Bonsai Club, who meet in Bradford in West Yorkshire on the first Monday of every month. They've also got a Facebook page, so if you're interested in coming along to a meeting, then check that out. What I particularly wanted to talk about in this video is that although we're now coming into June, I have a couple of trees which started out the year fairly well, but seem to now be in quite a state and need some emergency bonsai care. The first of the trees I want to draw your attention to is this Buddhist pine, and this is a tree which I got from the Japanese garden at Morgan in Cornwall, probably about 2.5 years ago. And you can see that the foliage here is looking very dry and unhappy. And almost certainly the causes of the problem with this tree are the fact that it was repotted earlier this year into this hexagonal ceramic pot. And Buddhist pine are notoriously temperamental about having their roots dealt with. So the question is, what is the remedial action that I can take to try and save this tree? And what I'm thinking is to take it out of the pot and get that into a deeper pot full of sphagnum moss to try and revive the roots. Sphagnum moss is well known for its ability to encourage roots and its antimicrobial, antibacterial properties. So I'm treating this as like a medical emergency and getting this tree into a pot full of sphagnum moss to try and revive those roots. Sphagnum moss, often used in gardening and horticulture, can indeed help promote root growth in sick bonsai trees. Here's how. Sphagnum moss has excellent water retention properties. When used as a growing medium or placed around the roots of a bonsai tree, it helps maintain a consistently moist environment. This moisture creates an optimal environment for the roots to absorb water and nutrients, aiding in their recovery and growth. Sphagnum moss also promotes proper aeration and drainage. It has a loose structure that allows air to circulate around the roots, preventing them from becoming waterlogged. Sphagnum moss also contains natural compounds that have antimicrobial and antifungal properties. These properties can help protect the bonsai tree from harmful pathogens and prevent or reduce the occurrence of root diseases. By creating a favourable microbial balance around the roots, sphagnum moss can contribute to the overall health and vitality of the tree. When using sphagnum moss for bonsai, it's typically applied as a layer around the roots or as part of a soil mix. The other tree that's given me some cause for concern is this little Fuji cherry windswept shohin tree, which is one of my favourite trees. You can see there that the foliage has gone quite brittle and dry, and this tree was quite healthy probably about a month ago. And you can see next to it another Fuji cherry, and you can see how bright green the leaves should be. Instead, they seem to have developed a bit of a wilt. And again, the concern here is that the roots aren't very healthy. What I'm immediately going to do is get that out of the pot. First of all, check that there aren't any vine weevils in there chomping on the roots. And again, get that into some sphagnum moss to try and revive that if at all possible. I've just got here handfuls of sphagnum moss which I'm chopping up into smaller pieces and hydrating those before I put it into the bottom of the pot. I'm going to tackle this Fuji cherry first. The first thing I want to do is just check that the roots are okay, and I suspect that they're not going to be. What I'm particularly looking for at the moment is vine weevil or anything that might be attacking or eating those roots. So I need to just free the tree from the pot. So I'm just cutting away the wires underneath that are securing that in the pot. I should now be able to just lift that, tease that out of the pot and check the state of the roots. And there we go. And as I lift that out of the pot, I can see that the roots aren't in a very good state at all. And obviously that is what accounts for why the tree's not in a very good state at the moment. And I can't see any grubs in the soil. So I think it's just a case of the moisture in the soil has perhaps rotted those roots. At this stage the tree might be too far gone already, and it might be that I can't save that, but it's worth trying. So I'm going to pop it into this deeper pot filled with sphagnum moss. First thing I need to do is just make sure I can secure the tree into the pot so it doesn't fall out. So I'm just adding a tie down wire to that. So that's my pot ready with a bit of mesh in the bottom to stop anything from falling out the bottom. And I've got a big wad of sphagnum moss here. And I'm literally just going to fill the pot with that. Pop the tree into there. And just use my tie down wire just to stop that from falling out of the pot. And then just fill that in with more sphagnum moss. Don't really pack that in. And in the same way that we would if we were performing an air layer, I'm hoping that this damp sphagnum moss is going to help revive those roots and encourage them to grow again. And maybe we can save this tree, although I suspect it may be past the point where it can be saved. And I'll just pop that into a shaded corner now and pray to the bonsai gods. To rescue my Buddhist pine tree, I was looking for a pot that's large enough to hold the roots and also plenty of sphagnum moss, and I've hit upon using a large pond basket. So as with the Fuji cherry, I'm just going to fill that up with lots of sphagnum moss and then get the tree out of the pot and into this pond basket. So unlike with the Fuji cherry tree, we do have roots on here, but as I say, Buddhist pine is notoriously a bit temperamental about having its roots disturbed, and that's almost certainly had an effect here. I did also notice when I repotted this tree that the roots were a bit one-sided, so all the roots appear to be on this side of the tree and not a lot on this side. But let's get that into some sphagnum moss and let's see if we can't revive that. That's the tree secured in this pot with a mixture of sphagnum moss and bonsai soil. So again, I'm going to pop that out of the way and just leave that to recover. Here's the finished result, and these trees are now in intensive care, and I just need to keep an eye on them and hopefully they will revive. Of course, this being a video about emergencies and emergency room, I couldn't end without pointing out the fact that I snipped the end of my finger and caught that with my bonsai scissors as I was chopping up the sphagnum moss. Fortunately, I think I'm going to live. Possibly might lose the finger, but I've got another 3 on that hand. So just be careful with your bonsai tools. They are sharp and there is a possibility of cutting yourself if you're not careful. So I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If so, please hit the like button, and hope to catch you in the next one. Thank you.